Let me ask you something uncomfortable. If a powerful country can bomb another nation, capture its president, and fly him across the world to face charges, what does sovereignty actually mean anymore? This is not fiction. This is not a movie. This is not history. On January 3, 2026, according to multiple international news outlets, the United States launched military strikes against Venezuela, targeting sites in the capital and capturing President Nicolás Maduro and his wife. They were flown to New York, where they now face federal charges. This wasn't a debate. This wasn't diplomacy. This was force.
The U.S., as you say, has carried out a series of airstrikes in Venezuela, capturing President Nicolás Maduro and his wife. As you say, President Trump did confirm that in a social media post overnight, and Attorney General Pam Bondi posted on X moments ago that both Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, have been indicted in the Southern District of New York. She says Maduro will face charges of narco-terrorism conspiracy, cocaine importation conspiracy, along with weapons charges. In Bondi's words, quote, "They will soon face the full wrath of American justice on American soil in American courts." Now, Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez appeared on state TV following the attacks, demanding proof of life from Maduro and the First Lady, calling on citizens to mobilize for what she called an attack on Venezuela's sovereignty and oil resources. Vice President Rodriguez says armed officers and civilians were killed in the attacks, but she did not give a toll. The first explosions in the capital, Caracas, were heard around 2 a.m. local time. The Venezuelan government says military and civilian targets were hit across 3 states. But this does mark a major escalation of a months-long campaign that has included deadly strikes on suspected drug-running boats, a blockade on oil tankers, and a CIA-led strike on a Venezuelan docking area thought to be used by drug cartels. Just yesterday, President Maduro hosted a high-level Chinese delegation in Caracas. Now, it's not clear whether those diplomats were still in the country at the time of the attack, but global leftist leaders have taken to social media to condemn the strike. We've already heard from Russia, Colombia, Cuba, Brazil's President Lula, and Mexico, all rejecting the military action by the U.S. Now, before Maduro's capture was announced, Democratic Senator Ruben Gallego of Arizona posted on X, quote, "There's no reason for us to be at war with Venezuela." Republican Senator Mike Lee posted that Secretary of State Marco Rubio has told him Maduro will stand trial on criminal charges, and that Rubio expects no further action in Venezuela. President Trump says he will hold the news conference from his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida. It's set for 11 a.m. Wall Street time, and we will bring it to you live on this special edition of Balance of Power. I'm Nathan Hager in Washington. Joe, Christina, back to you.
This moment didn't come out of nowhere. For months, pressure escalated, sanctions tightened, naval forces positioned, and vessels were seized under accusations of narco-terrorism. On New Year's Eve, additional sanctions targeted Venezuelan oil exports and tankers. Then came the strikes. World leaders responded sharply. Spain and Brazil condemned the operation as a violation of international law. China called it an act of armed aggression. Critics pointed out there was no United Nations mandate authorizing this action. Supporters of the operation argue that Maduro's removal was necessary. Others welcomed the outcome. But the real issue isn't whether you like the leader. The issue is precedent. If global rules only apply sometimes, and only to certain countries, then they are not rules at all. This didn't start with bombs. It started with paperwork, press releases, and concern. It always does. Now stop and ask yourself one honest question. If the West can do this to Venezuela, a sovereign nation with a black and mixed population, what's to stop them from doing the same in Africa? Africa holds trillions of dollars in resources: oil, gold, diamonds, cobalt, coltan, rare earth minerals. Every year, hundreds of billions of dollars leave the continent while local communities remain underdeveloped. Some estimates place illicit financial outflows from Africa at over $90 billion annually. And here's the part people don't like to say out loud. Every phone you touch, every electric vehicle you see, every advanced weapons system being upgraded. Has Africa somewhere inside it? History shows us one consistent truth. When Africans control their own land, labor, and resources, they thrive. When outsiders control them, the value flows outward. Black people across Africa, the Caribbean, the Americas, Europe, and the global diaspora share a connected history. A history of extraction, of imposed systems, of decisions made without consent. What's happening today isn't ancient history. Venezuela is a modern example of how power moves in the world, quietly at first, then all at once. So we must ask the real questions. Who decides the fate of nations? Who owns the resources beneath the soil? And who writes and enforces international law? This is not a call to hate any group. This is not a call to violence. This is a call to think strategically. You know, when someone says they're here to help, but they arrive with sanctions, soldiers, then lawyers, that's not aid. That's a receipt. Real sovereignty doesn't come from slogans. It comes from structure. That means stronger unity among African nations, economic integration, coordinated defense, and collective protection of borders and resources. It means transparent governance, accountability to the people, not to foreign lenders or external powers. It means partnerships and not dominance. Leaders and movements calling for economic autonomy matter. Figures like Ibrahim Traore remind people of what's possible. But no leader is a savior. Systems outlive personalities. Unity, not hostility, is the strategy. Hostility weakens credibility. Discipline builds power. To wake up doesn't mean panic. It means educate, organize, build. Africa does not owe its future to anyone else. Black people's power is not defined by outside narratives. When land, resources, and destiny are controlled locally, we don't just survive. We win together. The question is no longer whether Africa has a future. The question is who will be allowed to decide it.